let's step back into the world of Monsters Incorporated, where monsters work together to make kids laugh instead of scaring them. Remember those funny, furry creatures like Sully and Mike? Well, they didn't just pop out of nowhere. Real people gave them their voices. Since Monsters Incorporated burst onto the scene, things have never been the same. We've laughed, maybe even shed a tear or two, but what about the voices behind the monsters? What are they up to now? Number 13, Frank Oz as Jeff Fungus.
I'm sorry, Wazowski, but Randall said I'm not allowed to fraternize with victims of his evil plot.
How could anyone not know Frank Oz, especially if you're into voice actors? In Monsters Incorporated, he played Jeff Fungus, a bit of a minor character, but Frank Oz is a legend. You might know him as the voice behind one of the most famous characters in movie history, Yoda from Star Wars. Yep, the wise little green guy. Beyond Star Wars, Frank Oz has left his mark in film and TV. He had a small voice role in Inside Out, voiced a robot in Zathura, and he even appeared on screen in the awesome mystery movie Knives Out, among many others. Oz is not just a voice actor, he's a puppeteer too. He's used his talents not only for Yoda but also for various Muppets projects, including Muppets Tonight. His most recent TV gig was voicing Yoda in Star Wars Rebels. Frank Oz is a true master in the world of entertainment. Number 12, John Ratzenberger as Yeti.
Can you believe that? Do I look abominable to you?
Watch out! The Yeti in Monsters Incorporated was a big reminder of what can happen if you get banished. Guess who brought him to life? It's John Ratzenberger. He didn't just play Yeti, he also reprised the role in Monsters University and Monsters at Work. Now, John Ratzenberger is like a VIP in the Disney and Pixar world. You've probably heard his voice in many Pixar films like Ham in Toy Story, Mac in Cars, and the Underminer in The Incredibles. He's been in the first 22 Pixar films. That's a lot. But wait, there's more. Ratzenberger also did cool stuff in other movies like Spirited Away, The Village Barbershop, and Planes. On TV, he rocked in 8 Simple Rules, hosted Made in America, acted in Legit, and appeared in Just Roll With It. Number 11, Daniel Gerson as Needleman and Smitty.
See you later, fellas.
Go get him, Mr. Sullivan! Quiet! You're making him lose his focus!
Needleman and Smitty, the two little working men in Monsters Incorporated, brought us some hilarious moments, and their voices came from the talented Daniel Gerson. Beyond his voice work, Gerson was a Pixar screenwriter extraordinaire. He worked on the screenplays for both Monsters Incorporated and Monsters University, and also contributed to Disney's Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Cars, and more. Gerson even lent his voice to a minor character, the Desk Sergeant in Big Hero 6. Unfortunately, Daniel Gerson passed away in 2016 due to brain cancer while he was working on Cars 3. Even though he's no longer with us, his contributions to the world of animation continue to bring joy and laughter to audiences everywhere. Number 10, Jeff Pigeon as Thaddeus Flem Bile.
I was going for a snake/ninja approach with a little hissing.
Meet Thaddeus Bile, or as we lovingly call him, Flem, voiced by the talented Jeff Pigeon. Pigeon is like a Pixar superhero. He's not just a voice actor but also a screenwriter, animator, and storyboard artist for the company. You might recognize his voice from the Toy Story series where he gave life to those cute green aliens.
Happy holidays from Gamma Quadrant Sector 4.
Pigeon also added his voice to additional characters in Wall-E, but the fun doesn't stop there. He voiced Mr. Spell in Forky Asks a Question on Disney+.
Tuesday night's plastic corrosion awareness meeting.
And you can catch him as Fly in Dug Days. Jeff Pigeon is a Pixar wizard, bringing his creativity to both behind the scenes and in front of the microphone. Number 9, Bonnie Hunt as Miss Flint.
No, before that. Can anyone tell me Mr. Biles' big mistake?
Miss Flint, the fantastic coach for Scares and Monsters Incorporated, got her voice from the amazing Bonnie Hunt. Hunt is a familiar face in many films, starring in Cheaper by the Dozen,
Hot stick!
Mark, Matt!
and appearing alongside Tom Cruise in Jerry Maguire and Rain Man, as well as joining Tom Hanks in The Green Mile. Bonnie Hunt is not just an on-screen talent, she's also a voice wizard. You might recognize her from A Bug's Life, where she did some voice work, and she's the voice behind Sally in the Cars series.
I don't know, Sally,
Don't fear failure. Be afraid of not having the chance. You have the chance.
Since 2011, she's been voicing Dolly in the Toy Story series and even played Bonnie Hobbs, the mother in Zootopia. In the world of TV, Bonnie Hunt had her own show, Life with Bonnie, produced and hosted The Bonnie Hunt Show, and had a recurring voice role in Sophia the First. And guess what? She reprised the role of Miss Flint in the Monsters at Work series. Bonnie Hunt is a true talent, bringing her charm to both the big and small screens. Number 8, Steve Susskind as Jerry Slugworth.
Okay, people, Eastern Seaboard coming online. We got scarers coming out.
Jerry Slugworth, the awesome announcer in Monsters Incorporated, had his voice brought to life by the talented Steve Susskind. Before gracing Monsters Incorporated, Steve had a voice in other cool movies, like The Emperor's New Groove, Osmosis Jones, and The Iron Giant. He didn't just shine in movies, Susskind also appeared in popular TV shows like Married, With Children, News Radio, Seinfeld, Frasier, and The Tick.
What am I gonna do next? I decided to walk across the country.
Sadly, Steve passed away in 2005 with his last credit being Doggone Love. Even though he's no longer with us, his voice still echoes in the memories of those who enjoyed his performances in Monsters Incorporated and beyond. Number 7, Bob Peterson as Roz.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Meet Roz, the always watching, yet oddly endearing monster from Monsters Incorporated, voiced by the talented Bob Peterson. You might not know his face, but you've likely heard his voice. Peterson is like a Pixar wizard. He does everything. He's an animator, screenwriter, storyboard supervisor, a director, and voice actor for the company. This guy worked on some of your favorite films, like co-directing Up and writing for Up and Finding Nemo. As an actor, he lent his voice to Mr. Ray in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, dug in Up, and added his voice to many other Pixar films.
I have just met you, and I love you.
And that's not all. Peterson also directed and wrote for Forky Asks a Question. So while Roz might be keeping an eye on us, Bob Peterson has been busy making magic happen behind the scenes at Pixar. Number 6, Steve Buschemi as Randall.
I'm about to revolutionize the scaring industry.
You remember Randall, right? That sneaky workplace villain in Monsters Incorporated? Well, the awesome actor Steve Buschemi gave his voice, and he nailed it. After causing trouble in Monsters University in 2013, Buschemi has been rocking the Hollywood scene for a long time, and he's not slowing down. In movies, Steve has been in a bunch of them, like the Spy Kids series, the funny movie Grown Ups with Adam Sandler, Netflix's The Ridiculous Six, and the political satire The Death of Stalin. But wait, there's more. He's not just a movie guy. Steve is also a TV star. He took the lead in the HBO series Broadwalk Empire, hosts a web show called Park Bench with Steve Buscemi, and stars in Miracle Workers with Daniel Radcliffe. You might have seen him in The Sopranos, 30 Rock, and other cool TV shows too. Steve Buscemi is one busy and talented guy in Hollywood. Number 5, James Coburn as Henry J. Waternoose III.
Toxic or deadly than a human child. A single touch could kill you.
Remember Waternoose, the not-so-nice guy in Monsters Incorporated? Well, the awesome James Coburn gave him his voice. Sadly, Coburn passed away not long after Monsters Incorporated hit the screens. But before that, he had a super impressive list of credits. James Coburn was famous for his roles in many westerns like The Magnificent Seven, Hell is for Heroes, and The Great Escape, among others. His final project was The Mists of Avalon, a miniseries that he also helped produce. And you know what's cool? It got him a Primetime Emmy nomination. Even though he's not with us anymore, James Coburn left a lasting legacy with his incredible work in Hollywood. Number 4, Mary Gibbs as Boo. Hey, remember Boo from Monsters Incorporated? Well, guess what? She's all grown up now. Mary Gibbs, the awesome girl who gave Boo her voice when she was just 5 years old, has taken a step back from the limelight since then. Even though she's not in the spotlight as much, Mary Gibbs still does some cool things. She kept being Boo's voice in various Monsters Incorporated projects, and even did some extra voices in the Pixar movie Inside Out. Now, Mary Gibbs is living her happy life. She has a YouTube channel called Boo All Grown Up, where she talks about doing voices and her life. She says being a part of Monsters Incorporated was a super special one to her. And we're sure glad she was part of it. Number 3, Jennifer Tilly as Celia May.
Stop it.
Your hair was shorter than...
I'm thinking about getting it cut.
Celia, that sweet snake-headed monster in Monsters Incorporated, deserved way more love from Mike, didn't she? Jennifer Tilly was the awesome voice behind Celia in the Pixar film, and she came back to do it again in Monsters at Work on Disney+. But here's something cool. Jennifer Tilly isn't just the bubbly voice of Celia, she's also known for a much darker role as Tiffany Valentine in the Chucky franchise. Yup, the Bride of Chucky. She's been playing this spooky part for years, and she's still at it in the Chucky TV series. Beyond the horror world, Tilly has been all over the place in movies. You might have seen her in Disney's The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy, Home on the Range, Tideland, 7 Days to Vegas, and more. And guess what? She's been voicing Bonnie Swanson on Family Guy for a whopping 2 decades. Plus, she played Crystal in Out of Practice and popped up in many other cool shows. Jennifer Tilly is one talented and diverse lady in Hollywood. Number 2, Billy Crystal as Mike.
I think I have a plan here. Using mainly spoons, we dig a tunnel under the city and release it into the wild.
Oh, absolutely. Meet Mike, the funny monster from Monsters Incorporated, always cracking jokes with his buddy Sully. The cool part? He's voiced by the famous comedian and actor Billy Crystal. After Monsters Incorporated, Crystal kept himself super busy. He didn't just do the voice for Mike in Monsters University and Monsters at Work on Disney+, but he also worked on other amazing things, like he lent his voice to Howl's Moving Castle and acted in movies such as Tooth Fairy, I'm Still Here, Untogether, and Here Today. And guess what? Crystal wasn't just making us laugh on the big screen, she also rocked it on TV. He played himself in The Comedians, did a few episodes of Web Therapy, and even hosted the Academy Awards 2 times in 2004 and 2012. Billy Crystal is one funny and talented guy. Number 1, John Goodman as Sully.
You go to sleep.
Oh, let me tell you about the incredible journey Sully, the lovable monster, took us on in the world of Monsters Incorporated. It all started with his kind-hearted mission to look after Boo and get her back into the human world. And guess who brought Sully to life with his voice? The one and only John Goodman. You've probably heard of him. After Monsters Incorporated, Goodman did a lot of cool stuff in movies and TV. He acted in different movies like Beyond the Sea, Evan Almighty, The Artist, Patriot's Day, Atomic Blonde, and more. He also used his voice in movies like The Jungle Book 2, B-Movie, and The Princess and the Frog. Oh, and he even voiced Sully again in Monsters University. On TV, you can catch him in The Righteous Gemstones on HBO and The Connors, where he plays Dan Connor. He was also on the Amazon series Alpha House and the first season of Trame on HBO. John Goodman is one busy and talented guy. And that's a wrap, Monster fans. We just talked about what the cool people who voiced Monsters Incorporated characters are up to now. Which one surprised you the most? If you had fun learning about them, there's another cool video waiting for you. Click right here to keep the monster magic going.